if you're posting on social media but you aren't getting any warm leads whatsoever, there's a high likelihood that you're doing the same mistake as I did, which was to script your videos. My name is Nicklas Kling. I've grown my personal brand to over 7,000 followers on LinkedIn in almost 1 year, and I'm the #1 most selling real estate agent in my target area. In today's video, we're going to talk about one very important principle for you to get more warm leads in your life. So let's jump into it. So the first thing that we're going to stop doing is really, stop scripting your videos, and we're going to focus a lot about what we should do instead. So the main problem, as you probably know, is that when you script your videos, everything sounds, less authentic. So the core thing with this video and in the the world we're heading towards is that there's so much AI crap out there, and there's so much content that is just absolute garbage. So just like tailored to make us doom scroll for hours and we learn nothing. So it's purely entertainment. So there's so much crap out there, and that's why we gotta make sure that when we make our content that is tailored to get more warm leads in our lives, we're gonna make sure that we stand out, and we do this by being our most authentic selves. So this is the main problem, that when you script your videos and every single word that you're saying, you're just memorizing it and you don't know it from deep within. You're speaking in a way where it's just like a robot. So I will actually link one of the videos I have done previously, where you can very much see the comparison with this type of videos versus the old ones, which in all honesty was a very bad video. So you live and you learn. So that's really the main problem with scripting your videos, is that you feel like a robot. You're so unauthentic, and your most true authentic self is having a very hard time to shine through. So that's why we're going to focus a lot on the solution here, which is, as you might have figured, is to not scripting your videos moving forward. But it's not as easy as that, because the way we're going to do this is only by scripting the hook, because the hook is the most important part of every single video. It doesn't matter if you're doing short form content, or like this on YouTube, you're making long form content, because the hook is the most important one. And that's the the part that you should spend probably 80% of your time on, and you should spend 20% on the rest. And that's the way I see it, and that's the way I've learned it. I'm no way form or shape the best person in the world at this, but I'm very confident that I probably know more than 99% of real estate agents out there when it comes to creating content in order to get more warm leads in their lives. So then you might think, well, okay, what's the hook? It sounds like a good thing to spend time on. And me being super simple here, the hook is really what you can see here. So it's really like the beginning of the video. So let's say that you have a video here, and let's say that it's 10 minutes. Then you can see in the beginning, it's just the first on short form, it's the between 3 to 6 seconds, which is the very beginning of the video. And when it comes to YouTube, it's somewhere around the lines of 20 to 40 seconds, from the beginning. So it's the start. It's the way that you get people's attention. It's the way that you should craft your video, should make sure that the people are going to keep on watching. So that's really the hook. To make everything very simple, it's the beginning of the video. So that's the one thing you should be scripting and spending a lot of time on, because what you're going to learn in this new world of creating content is that the better the hooks, the more warm leads you're going to get, because more people is going to watch, more people is going to resonate, etc. So it doesn't matter if you have the best video in the world if no one is going to keep on watching. So that's why the importance of the hook. We gotta make sure that people keep on watching, or rather say the people we wanna, the people we want to be watching our content to keep on watching. And the rest of the video, we should just speak from our minds. So this is really the way I should go about this, and just take from myself. In the beginning, I scripted everything, and that's why my videos didn't perform. I felt like, making the video, it sucked. So I did not feel like myself. And that is a big, very, bad thing to be happening, especially in the world we're moving forward, where authenticity and being genuine person, is what attracts, a deeper connection. So the way I do it is that I have a set of bullet points which I'm speak from. It's working very, very well for me, and that's why if you have been with me for a longer period of time, you can see that now I'm sitting here with an iPad. I did not do that in the beginning. So what this thing have helped me is that I can script the intro or the hook. And then I could, just make the most important parts. I can write them down on this kind of like Canva graph. So I just sit here, camera in front of me, and I just speak, freely from the bullet points I have throughout. So it's, from number 1 to number 10. So it's working quite well for me. I feel very confident sitting here and speaking with you directly. And I highly encourage you to do some kind of version yourself. As if you're not going to have an iPad, at least that you have some kind of bullet points written down on a notes or on a paper, or that you have them in your mind at least. So that's the way I see it, that the beginning should be scripted, the rest of the video should not. And now the most important part: what's the blueprint to making this a very simple thing, and really like tailoring all your type of content that you're going to create in a video format, where we increase the likelihood by as much as we can to get more warm leads in our lives. So I would say number 1 is to really like have a valuable idea. So this is kind of like, the way I go about it. So every single video that I create, whether it's on, short form on LinkedIn or here long form on YouTube, I always have some kind of valuable idea in mind. I think this is very important because we want to speak about things that are valuable for our audience. Because if you just pop on here, you have no idea what you're going to talk about. Like, there's a very slim chance that the video is going to perform well, or rather say that the video you're going to create is going to be some valuable for the people you want to attract. So that's why the more preparation we have into the videos in general, the better they're going to be performing. And number 2, I think is very important as well, to when you have like this rough idea, I think it's important as well to write down the things that you want to share. So let's say the video that I'm sitting here and recording at this moment, I had a rough idea that me scripting videos is not that too good of an idea. I don't feel that the videos is performing, or the most important thing is that I don't feel that I am my most authentic self. So that's why I know that a lot of people out there are doing the same thing as I did, which I find to be a mistake. And it's really a problem, and that's why I wanted to create a video where we can have a very good solution to that problem. And then you just take your time, 20 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, and write down the rough idea to the best way you can solve this type of problem. And then when you have done that, fine tune it. So, sit yourself and type it out, or, either on computer or with pen and paper. And the best thing with that, instead of just asking, ChatGPT to give you an outline and things like that, is because it's your own words. And, me, English is my, second language. Swedish is my first one. So it makes everything so much easier for me when I speak in my kind of language. Instead of taking something that another person have written me that I'm supposed to say, because it's not the same language that I use, and it just make me less me. So that's my best tip for that. And then one very important principle as well, in order to get a very good hook, is to use something that is called the 4 C's. And what is this? It's really like 4 things. So as you can see, you have the call out, you have the credibility, you have the compass, and then you have the core learning. And first of all, like, these are a very simple principles to start using. I've started using them myself for the last, I think 3 to 4 videos that I'm using myself. The best in the world when it comes to educational content are using this. So yeah, I'm using it myself. I highly encourage you to do the same. So first of all, like, call out who is this for? So if you look at this video in the beginning, I was talking about, if you're posting on social media, but you aren't getting any warm leads whatsoever, you might be doing the same mistake as I did. So I'm calling out people that are posting on social media and aren't getting, their desired outcome. So this is a very important thing to be doing, because if you don't know who you're making content for, you're really making content for no one. And then second of all, you have credibility. So I think on top of having, a very good, first call out, you have to have some kind of credibility. So I highly encourage you to think about, well, okay, for the types of people I want to, attract, what kind of credibility do I have, which, increases the likelihood by a lot that the people you want to target are going to keep on watching your things and get a sense of, well, this guy is very valuable. So let's say that you're a real estate agent that are watching this right now. You have been working for, say 3 years, 7 years, 10 years. I think it's very reasonable for you to call out that in the beginning. So let's say you make content for, sellers in your area. Well, if you have been working for 10 years, I think it's, non-negotiable for you to include that in your credibility. So that's just an example on that. And then when you have the compass, it's really like, where are we going with this? So for example, that what I talked about was that, okay, well, I'm going to share one very important principle to make, you getting your desired outcome. So it's really as simple as, when you have done the first two, just talk about what you're going to talk about. It's nothing harder than that. And do it in a very simple manner. And then number 4, I think it's a very, very important one as well, because as I said earlier, like, we live in a day and age where there's so much crap out there. So you just want to cut through that noise by, talking about what's the core learning here. So you're not just another guy on this planet or another girl on this planet making content that really has no meaning. So that's why I think it's very important, especially if you are seeing, content creation from a business perspective. Usually, if you're watching this, there's a high likelihood that you're doing some type of, educational content, which means that you have some kind of core learning, because every piece of content you're putting out there in the world should solve, a problem to the people you want to target. That's really the 4 C's. I'm using it myself. Feel free to use it yourself. And the last thing when we come down to the blueprint is really, as I said, like the rest of the video, you're gonna structure them in 2 sections. First of all, you have the problem, and then you have the solution. And when it comes to the problem, the way I see it is that, let's say, to make like a very bad drawing here, let's say that this is the video that you are going to create. This is the full length of the video. And what we're going to think about here is that, as I mentioned before, the hook or the intro, it's, a very short piece of the whole video. And then if you're, you're going to talk about, the 4 C's and everything like that, you do that in the beginning. But for the rest of the video, we're going to work with 2 things. So problem, solution. And actually what I did in the beginning was that I talked a lot of time about the problem. So I talked probably like too much about the problem, and like people that clicked on the video, they're watching the video, they understand like, well, give me the juice, give me the golden eggs. So that's why, moving forward, I'm really, cutting down on this, and instead I'm, making, probably like the problem just a few, minutes. That's the way I see it. And the rest of the video, I think that you should, focus on the solution, because that's really what's valuable. So the rest of the video is all about the solution. This is the way I see it, and I'm very confident that this is going to be a very good format moving forward. So as I said, in the beginning, you work with the hook, and then you talk a little bit about the problem, and then you talk about the solution. That's the way I'm moving forward, and I'm very confident that it's going to give you very good results. And don't forget to watch this video where you learn how you can get 10 years worth of progress in one single year, and it's a framework that the most successful people on the planet are using. And if you are a person watching this and you want to get more success in your life a lot faster, I highly encourage you to watch that video as well.